Am I talking to the man who gave Assassin's Creed Unity an 8 out of 10, Mikey Stubbsy?
You are indeed. I did give Assassin's Creed Unity an 8 out of 10 last year.
And hopefully you stand by that, because I agreed with you, so I don't want us to both look stupid.
Yeah, I still stand by that. I do feel like it was an 8 out of 10, especially from what I played, because personally I didn't experience any bugs. There was occasional frame rate drops, but other than that, nothing. And I do think it was a good game overall.
I agree with you, but we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about an Assassin's Creed game, but I have to ask you a question first. Stubbsy, do you feel the Assassin's Creed games are particularly stealthy games? That they originated as a stealth game, apparently. They were an assassin. Do you feel they're a stealthy game?
No, not at all, really. Like, one of the most effective ways of doing stuff is just running in and, like, starting a 10-man fight.
So I'm here to tell you, then, that Assassin's Creed Chronicles, China, the colon is not actually part of the title. Well, it is, but let's move on. Chronicles China is the most stealthy Assassin's Creed game to date in the series.
That sounds absolutely fantastic, because that is what I've wanted for ages from Assassin's Creed, just more stealth.
I mean, you can kill people with your sword. You can. I'm not going to say you can't, but it's not the best way to do it. It's the game that I've not played an Assassin's Creed game that requires you to actually bother with stealth. This is a stealth game, and it's not Assassin's Creed as you know it. You know, it doesn't look like Assassin's Creed. It's kind of almost watercolory, like pastel. It looks different, is what I'm getting at. Have you played or heard of Mark of the Ninja?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've played it.
Okay. Well, to those who are listening or watching and have and loved it, I think you're going to really like Chronicles, because fuck it. That's what this is. That's what this game is. It is a side-scrolling stealth game where you can go in and out of it's 2.5D because you can go in and out of the environment. I mean, there are sections where you can go deeper into a part of a level by walking into, you walk on a beam and you go into the level, But it's a stealth game, and I don't know really how much. It's weird because with Assassin's Creed, like, how much can we talk about Assassin's Creed, really,
I think you could talk about Assassin's Creed for a while. There's quite a bit there.
There is, but I wonder if they'll release or announce, the one that this was leaked ages ago, the one in London. Was it in London?
Yeah, London is the next big one, like this fall release major title, I think.
So, you see, so you still think they will bring it out this year?
Yeah, 100%. I would be very surprised if they
be released.
Yeah, whether it'll work or not, different question. But
with Chronicles, like with it being the 3 games, I want to say 3 games. With it being the 3 games, it seems like they don't need to, because these are really good games. These are games destined that people will think of. Like, do you remember Shadow Complex on Xbox Live Arcade? That everyone says is amazing, and yet everyone sort of forgets about. I get the feeling that this game is going to be one of those, get really good review scores. In fact, if you're listening to this now, you can go and read our review of it by Lee Garber. But it's really good. Like, it's really good. I'm playing it on PC. Review is based on the Xbox One version. It's really good, and it's a proper stealth game. And that blows my mind that we're talking about Assassin's Creed actually being a stealth game.
Yeah, I mean, I think Assassin's Creed, surely the original idea was to be a stealth game when they made the first one, and then they just sort of got away from that. But I think bringing it back, I feel like if they added stealth to the main games, that there would sort of be quite a lot of outrage from those that have come into the series and have just liked fighting people with swords and occasionally stabbing people in the back. But I think doing it in this new sort of different area that isn't one of the main games is a good way to satisfy those that have been wanting the stealth without annoying everyone that likes sword fighting.
I find that such a strange thought process in a way, because you're an assassin, and it sounds like you think people who don't want to play as an assassin, they just want it to be a Bayonetta almost,
Yeah, I mean, I think especially with the pirate one, was it Black Flag? I think people I think that kind of epitomised we're kind of still calling it an assassin's game, but basically you are a pirate with a sword that could stab people.
I mean, the brand is all over the place now, isn't it? I mean, what with Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, and then Assassin's Creed Unity, Assassin's Creed Rogue, Assassin's Creed Chronicles, China, the brand's just all over the shop. The Liberation as well, wasn't there? Assassin's Creed Liberation.
Yeah.
And the timeline and the brand are just a bit messy at the moment. And I think the brand, the name Assassin's Creed is a little bit damaged. Do you think that's fair to say?
I think to, like, sort of us and the more hardcore like people, then yes. But I know people that, like, you know, everyone says that people play 2 games a year and it's FIFA and COD. I know people who pick up Assassin's Creed every year, and they only play sort of 3 or 4 games a year. So I think there's a larger than people think audience out there that do just pick up the Assassin's Creed game because it is Assassin's Creed and they know they like it.
See, this one being digital only, I want to say it's digital only. You know, I'll put an annotation in the video if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it is. That the visibility is going to be more difficult because it's not going to be in shops. It's not going to be a box on a shelf. And that always worries me with Ubisoft a little bit, because I'd like to think that this is genuinely something that I would actually... I think at this point I'd rather play this than a main Assassin's Creed game, because I think with Unity we hit peak graphics, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm sure they'll push it further, but I think we hit the peak of like what an Assassin's Creed game is going to look like, and this being so different, being the 2.5D, being it's a different game. I mean, it borrows, you know, it's got all the Animus stuff in it, not the actual you come out of the Animus. I mean, this is just it's a story of its own, but it's got the, you know, the whole like go into the menus, hit this, and oh, you've just discovered this, and now you can press this to go and read all about it. I mean, there's a bit with Ezio. It came up and you can go look at him, and there's a picture of him looking really old. So it's got all that lore still, but it's a different game. Like it's a puzzle game in that it's that kind of stealth puzzler, you know, how a proper stealth game should be a puzzler. Does that make sense?
Kind of, yeah, like where you have to just try a way of doing it, and then if that doesn't work out, you might have gained a bit of extra information that will help you on your next run.
Absolutely. I mean, you can click the right stick and you go into Eagle Vision and you can see guards' routes. So there'll be like guards in red, and you can see their route that they're going to walk. It does line along the floor, and then you'll see a yellow guard, and he's like the objective. You know, you've got to kill him to get a key or whatever. And you can move the camera around a little bit. I mean, you can whistle, and you can expand the circle of your whistle to draw guards in. You can jump from cover to cover. So say you're hidden in some grass. If you press right and A, you'll sort of quickly dash out and jump and go across to the next bit of cover. The only thing I didn't like, because I get that it's a game and, you know, you suspend your disbelief, but there's some real stupid shit here. Like, if 2 guards are chatting, they won't see you. And I don't mean they're less aware of you. I mean, you can pretty much fucking walk behind them and then walk out the other side where you're right next to them, and they just won't see you because they're having a little chit chat.
Wow, that seems a bit ridiculous.
I mean, it's not, I thought it was a bug at first. I was like, oh shit, it's not. It's intentional, because it comes up and it tells you if 2 guards are chatting, they won't notice you. Well, why bother putting them there then? Like, at all? If they're not part of the puzzle of this stealth section, why bother? You know?
Yeah, it kind of sounds a bit like they're just padding stuff out to try and get more into it.
But I mean, there's combat in here, and you can block. Like if you press right and B when someone attacks you from that side, you block, and you can then hit A to jump and roll over them, and then you can hit them, and then eventually if you damage them enough, a skull appears. You press Y, you do a finisher. But you know, you don't really want to be in combat, to be honest with you. You just want to be stealthily going in and out of the shadows, which is what an Assassin's Creed game should be, you know?
It really should. Like, that's something that I've wanted for a while, and I've been disappointed every time. Although this one definitely sounds like something I will pick up and hopefully enjoy.
It does. This sounds like the one for you, Stubbsy. So go over to godisgeek.com, read the review, and, you know, I'd probably say if you like games like Mark of the Ninja, if you like the Assassin's Creed franchise, probably buy Assassin's Creed Chronicles: China. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.